Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about a bit of a different thing for my channel, actually, since I mainly do gameplays, but I came across a video and I just wanted to talk about this topic and maybe clear up some misconception about the whole supplement ordeal and the idea that, it's the whole ordeal is that it's the natural versus artificial supplements or synthetic supplements, and people have some differing opinions about it. So the situation is that if something is not naturally made or naturally occurring, then they are worse than something that is naturally occurring. So for example, someone might take a natural vitamin D supplement instead of a synthetic vitamin D supplement because they think the synthetic one is worse than the natural one. And they think that these companies are bad and are just trying to get money or are intentionally selling things that are harmful to people. So there's a specific person that was actually recommended to me in my YouTube recommendations, and that's why I'm talking about this. It's a YouTube channel named DoctorsResearch, and he claims that in his video, these manufactured vitamins are killing people, and they're unnatural, therefore they're harmful. But he also sells a bunch of vitamins that are apparently better. And that's the title of the video. It's synthetic vitamin formulas are killing Americans, but food vitamins build health. Don't have time to watch the video itself, but I will be addressing his points and talking about them. So his first point is that vitamins are causing early deaths within pregnant women. Now, the thing that he does throughout the entire video is that he never lists any sources for his studies or research. He'll say some very vague university or something, and I was not able to find any study that he was talking about. And like I said, he never links them, which is a huge red flag already, because if you're going to make an argument like this, it's vital that you clearly tell your studies or, put them in the description below. But he doesn't do any of that. Furthermore, he claims that folic acid vitamins are linked to colon, prostate, and breast cancer. Now, if you're trying to sell something, the fastest way that you can sell that item is by saying what you're against causes cancer and that what you have prevents it. It's sort of this scare tactic that some health fads will use where they'll say that something causes cancer, but what they have prevents it. And usually what they have is a lot more expensive, and their statements just aren't true. But let's address his point and let's talk about folic acid. Folic acid supplements are used in order to keep blood cells healthy. Now, the reason they're given to pregnant women is to stop potential disorders like spina bifida, where the baby's spine and spinal cord form improperly. So that's why they're given to pregnant women is to try to stop these disorders from happening. Folic acid does have side effects, as does every medication and supplement, but none of them are linked to cancer. Some of the side effects are like nausea, bloating, allergic reactions, depending on the person's allergies. But these symptoms occur when you take more than the daily recommended amount, which is why there is a daily recommended amount and why you don't go over that. People who have cancer cannot take folic acid, but that doesn't mean that folic acid causes cancer. So his second point is that supplements are dangerous because they're not natural, meaning that they're not obtained from foods, and that God did not intend for these supplements to be taken. Now, I always respect people's religion and culture. Obviously I have I respect those things, and but I don't know much about the Bible, so I don't know what it says about like naturally occurring things or anything like that, so I have no statement nor counter argument to that. But what I will do is we need to talk about natural versus synthetic supplements. We need to look at the way that they're made and the molecular structure of them both. So the way that supplements are made is that they're planned out, like they're given a purpose before they're made. So let's say like we're making a vitamin D supplement, and raw materials are ordered, things in order to make that supplement, and then they're tested and studied before being released. They go through kind of a long process to make sure that they're safe and also that they work in the first place, but mainly that they're safe. So here is the chemical structure of naturally occurring vitamin D3. This is just sort of what vitamin D3's chemical structure looks like. And again, the word chemical does not mean bad, it just means it's sort of like a word for substance. And this is the chemical structure of vitamin D3 supplements. As you can see, there is not really a difference. In fact, there's no difference between them because they are the exact same thing, just with different origin. But because they have a different origin, that doesn't mean that they're bad or that they're worse than the other thing. Like Professor Dave said, it doesn't matter who makes your key as long as it's the right shape for the lock. Meaning that your enzymes don't care, and they really don't know the difference. They don't have like a detector or any hormones associated with them that's gonna shut everything down if they don't detect naturally occurring vitamins or anything like that. So your enzymes doesn't care as long as it gets the supplement. And that's why vitamins made in a lab work, because they're not any different than naturally occurring vitamins. And the word synthetic itself has been given a negative connotation by people. Synthetic just simply means made by humans. It does not mean that it's bad or worse, or that, because it's synthetic, it's evil. And also the whole nature versus science argument. Nature has brought us things like diseases and natural disasters that science is trying to curb. Like obviously we've created things like vaccines and medications to try and curb diseases and stuff that are naturally occurring. So the second point is that he's claiming that a 1998 UK study proved that supplements can cause damage to DNA when the daily recommended is taken. Or at least I think so. Again, it would have been nice to be given a link to the study, or at least show the study on screen, but he doesn't do either of that, so I have no idea if he's talking about this study. He also claims that a 2012 study by the Medical American Association said that supplements don't prevent mortality. Now, personally, I never heard a claim about supplements doing such, and it's interesting because on his website, he's selling one supplement called Complete Eye Health, and it says that it's anti-aging, which I would assume means it's slowing or at least trying to prevent mortality. So that seems kind of hypocritical, like. I mean, he says that, a study doesn't claim that it prevents mortality, but he's selling something that's anti-aging. Unless that anti-aging means just preventing wrinkles or something like that. Again, I don't have any links, or he doesn't have any links, nor does he show any of these studies, so I have no idea if they're verifiable or not. I cannot find any of them. He just assumes that you won't check, so he can just say this stuff, and that's why it's always good to check studies from trusted sources. He also quotes another study. The person who did the study said that, quote, taking synthetic vitamins is worse than starvation. It will kill you quicker, end quote. Now, to me, this sounds just more like an opinion and not a fact, especially given the comparison between starvation and vitamins, and once again, I cannot find the study anywhere. I just can't. Okay, so later on in the video, he shows off a bunch of papers and books that he's written and published. I think this is in order to try and gain some sort of credibility, and he never mentions if any of his papers were peer-reviewed or accepted, which would be a big deal, because if they were peer-reviewed or if they were accepted, depending on the source that they were, that would be a big deal, because it would bring up his credibility and he would make a better argument. He goes on to say that people who have Down syndrome shouldn't take unnatural supplements. And the thing is that people with Down syndrome could actually benefit from supplements. Not every supplement would be beneficial, but some do help with people with Down syndrome. He also claims that there's a connection between glycogen. Wow, alright, I can't pronounce words, but still. He says that there's a connection between that and supplements, but he himself in the videos admits that this hasn't been researched, so until the study comes out, this point is a bit invalid, because he suspects there's a connection, but there's no verifiable study that there is. His last point claims that foods that do have vitamins are synthetic and are sprayed onto, quote unquote, meaning that they're just put on synthetic vitamins and stuff like that on foods. So then my question is, where do we get food for vitamins? If we're looking for all natural foods, and if every food has been sprayed onto, quote unquote, where do we get our vitamins then? Because we can get naturally occurring supplements, but where do the naturally occurring food supplements come from? So, with all of his points covered, I'm going to go over his website. The website is www.doctorsresearch.com. It's basically one big marketplace. A whole lot of supplements that make major claims, like boosted immune or boosted hypothalamus, which I'm not even sure what that means, and they don't explain it. There's also one supplement called the hypothalamus EMG, and it claims that it, quote, supports the master endocrine gland. And a quick Google research will tell you that the pituitary gland is the master endocrine gland and not the hypothalamus gland. So that should be a bit of a red flag, because the hypothalamus is responsible for body temperature and, I believe, weight and appetite. But the pituitary gland is responsible for a whole lot of things, so it should be kind of a red flag that they say that the hypothalamus is the master gland, especially since they claim that they're experts on the matter and whatnot. And they also have supplements that have health claims that seem far-fetched or aren't backed by any research. You're just really supposed to trust the guy. Like, here's the thing. I'm not doubting that these aren't supplements. I'm just doubting some of the claims because they do seem just a little out there. He also has a product called Simply Ovary, which he claims is made from bovine ovary tissue, which helps with ovary development, mood, and sleep. And for his sort of vegan-like approach with the whole all-natural thing, I'm sure his vegan viewers would appreciate taking supplements that came from a cow's ovary tissue, if that claim is even true. And again, not to mention that there's not even any evidence or anything like that backs up this product doing so. So most of these cost about $30 to $100. Not everyone. Well, it's usually like a price range between $30 to $40. There's one product there that's $100, and you can get supplements a lot cheaper at your local grocery store, I believe. Maybe for like $15 or $20. So, the conclusion is just because something is made in a lab or is made by humans, that doesn't mean that it's bad, or that doesn't mean that that company is evil or that they're trying to hurt someone. It's not that. In fact, synthetic vitamins are the exact same as naturally occurring vitamins, and in fact, synthetic vitamins are easier to produce, which means that they can get to more people. More people who may need those vitamins but can't, either don't have the budget to get naturally occurring vitamins or just can't get those naturally occurring vitamins. So, it's better that these are mass produced like they are because, they can get to people. Now, of course, you want to find vitamins that are most likely FDA approved, which I didn't check if his are, so I wouldn't have an idea if his are actually FDA approved or not, but I don't know. I'll leave you with this quote from the FDA that says, "Be aware that the term natural doesn't always mean safe," and I think they had a bit of a typo, so it doesn't sound as epic as I wanted to. But yeah, that's basically it. Just because something is made by humans, that doesn't mean it's bad, and I think that sort of mentality has been putting a lot of misconception out there, and a lot of times is that, these synthetics are just made the same way as the naturally occurring vitamins. It's just people, for some reason, have this mentality that things made in a lab is bad, but nature is always good. And, I absolutely love nature and I'm all for the environment. It's critical to our health, but the claim just isn't all that true. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and in the description I'll have all the sources and all that, so you can take a look at those. Anyway, thank you for watching.